An error occurred. An error? This is not good. How do I make this error go away? Playback ID. Learn more. Click here. Right then, let's do that then. Don't know if there's anyone out there, but I'm learning more. Check that you're signed into. Yeah, I am signed into YouTube. All that stuff's happening. All right, well, I'm gonna have to just trust that the wonderful world of the internet is getting its Chris on today. Let's see. Hey, there we go. All right, although there's only one viewer. Is that me watching myself? To say, watching myself, talking to myself, wouldn't that be wonderful? I'll just log in on my phone. I'll get my wife and daughter to log in upstairs. Watch Daddy's stream, get his numbers up. Oh, Eric's here. Hello, Eric. I got weird sticky outy hair today that's really stressing me out. See this side here? I had a hat on earlier, so you can see the line of where the hat was sitting on me. What are you up to, Eric? What time is it your neck of the woods? About 4? 5? Something like that. He says, unlocking his phone to have a look at his world clock. That's not my world clock. Oh, I can't open. Chris. Sir Chris of House Awesome. Thank you, Connor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 4 on the button. There you go, see? I'm a man who knows his international time zones. It's a talent. You're on a bus. You're not driving yourself. And Wilfredo's with us. Welcome, 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 Wilfredo. So for the benefit of the lovely after-the-fact viewers, we have Eric, otherwise known as Charlotte Prime. We have the delectable Connor with the beautiful Irish lilt from Fuller's Figures. And we have Wilfredo, NYC native and fan of swinging in the Spider-Man sense. Well, hello, everybody. I hope you're all right today. Just got done with work and it feels more like beer. Yeah, beer o'clock for sure. Well, for me, it's 10 p.m, so I finished work quite a while ago. It's been a busy night. Ran my lad down to his basketball practice. Had his basketball practice this evening. Had a bit of dinner when he got back, and then setting all my stream stuff up. Went through, programmed all my links and my pictures in, ready to entertain you lovely folks. Because this is, of course, your Tuesday night.
Listen to your friend Chris.
A little. I remember everything, Wilfredo. Steel trap up here, mate. Steel trap. Or not. Hey, Real Zim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Tuesday night. I'll have to do it again. And there's Jono. So welcome, everyone, to...
Listen to your friend Chris.
That's me. I'm Chris. Asking you to listen to me for an hour or so. How you doing, Jono? How you doing, Zim? Jason Keane. Good evening. Or good afternoon. Wherever you may be on this wonderful globe of ours. Oh, dear. Yeah, funny day. It's been warm around these parts, though, today. Here in Manchester, in the UK. Bit of sunshine. It freaked us all out. Look, I've even got my legs out. It's been that warm. Got my shorts on and everything. So, that doesn't happen very often. You know what I mean? Although it was a bit breezy. So to counteract that lovely sunshine, we've got a bit of breeze. So everybody's there just saying hello in chat. All right, everybody. Hello, Mr. Redmond. I tell you what, I've not prepped it up in me material, but I was reading that. I was thinking of you, Jono, when the all this Star Wars HasLab drama that's going on right now, or is it drama? Who knows? And I was thinking of your good self, sir, when you mentioned the other week that we don't talk about Black Series a great deal. And rightly so, because let's call it out for what it is. There's fuck all to talk about, is there? What's this sunshine? I know, mate. I know. Do you know what? I should have taken a photo so that I had, photographic evidence to show you. But it was quite unusual round these parts. Quite unusual. Even hung some washing on the line in the back garden. Would you believe? And then when my son went out in the garden later this afternoon, I had to take it all down so we could play football in the yard. Hey, Bobby's here. Oh, Bobby's just heard me talking about the Black Series HasLab. Did they get a new HasLab that's not the Ghost? Well, no, I don't. I think there was one planned to be, as far as I can gather, paying it only like 25% worth of my attention when scrolling through the socials. They've got a stream coming up, May the 4th, Star Wars Day, all that. Got a stream coming up. They had originally announced, or it had been talked about, that there was going to be a HasLab reveal. Is it Star Wars Vintage, I think it was. I don't think it was Black Series, but I never know what the differences are between all these lines anyway. But then a post went out that said, actually, no, we can't show it off on the 4th. It's on its way. And then a follow-up post came down the line from one of the designers, I think, who said something along the lines of, the product's got to come first and it just wasn't ready. So, but no further insights were given as to what's taking place there. And as Jono rightfully asks, how could they not have the HasLab ready? Like it's just a painted 3D printed model at this stage of the process. Yeah, I don't know. There's it always seems a bit sus, doesn't it? Like there's a little something more going on behind the scenes when it comes to HasLabs. I don't know. If it's not a Black Series X-Wing, I'm not interested, says Connor. Well, I wouldn't be interested. Well, do you know what? A Black Series X-Wing would turn my head. I've got a little space. Here we go, slippery slope time. I've got a bit of space just above here that you guys never see from that side. Bit of ceiling space with a little bit of... I've got a light up here, but then a bit of ceiling space. And I was sort of looking at it. I've got some Lego. I've got a Lego X-Wing and a Lego TIE Fighter and an A-Wing and just some classic original trilogy Lego sets. And I was thinking, with the old fishing wire, whether I could do a little something up there. I'm actually thinking about my collection and how I display my collection quite a bit because some of you guys might know Stu over at Universal Toys. I hope he won't mind me mentioning, but he reached out, he got in touch with me. I hope he doesn't mind me saying, and said, you're free. It'd be great to get together and have you on as one of my, toy collector interview series that he does, which is really good, by the way. Everyone should check it out. Universal Toys, Universal Toy Collector. He just grabs a YouTube toy tuber and has a chat with them. But he does this little bit where they take photos of their collection. And he does like a little tour of their collection. And I thought, God, I've basically got that shelf up there, this shelf here, and then a load of cargo crates and boxes over here. So I was thinking, maybe I should get some stuff out so I can actually take some more interesting photos for Stu. I mean, that might not happen, but it was just something I was thinking about. Anyway, I've not been following along in chat. Let's see what everyone else is saying. So Johnny says, the stream is on May the 3rd because Hasbro PR what we call the industry fuckwits. No arguments here. 100% TVC. Yeah, it is vintage collection. I thought I'd read that. It is a little crazy, says Eric, that we don't at least have renders of the figures coming with the Dragonfly. I thought we did know that. Wild Bill, Glenda, something else. I've not been following along. Connor's never going to give up on his dream of a Black Series X-Wing. The full-size Vespers from the Boba Fett series. Oh, I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit. Hello, Fluffle. Nice to see you, my man. Dropped in for a couple of minutes before I take one of the kids to lacrosse. No worries, mate. Yeah, just float in, float out. It's all chill. I know what that dad taxi routine's all about. But I'll jump back up again now. One day, Connor, a 3-footer. Is that a euphemism? Retro Scarlet is basically just a pre-paint of Glenda. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we all knew, didn't we? When we saw the Glenda digital render, we were all like, yeah, that's basically Retro Scarlet on the way. Yeah, I thought, yeah, so John was with me. I thought we'd seen the digital renders. Do you mean in hand? Or... And there's Curtis. No crazy legs yet. Okay, thank you, Curtis. I can't keep up with chat. Ripcord, Glenda, and Crazy Legs. So we've seen Glenda, though, haven't we? And we've seen Ripcord. I thought we'd seen Ripcord. Have we not? Oh, I need to keep your head up my ass. And Fluffle's very happy because he got his SMS today. It's neat. Not amazing, but neat. The Fluffle review is in. All right, folks. Well, I've got prepared material, as always, so I'll get cracking on with that. But before I do, Chris, a 6-inch X-Wing would be a 3 foot by 1.5. I don't say, if we got actual renders, I must have missed them. Right, okay. I'll have a look through because I keep all the pictures that I've used in videos. So I'll have a look through my files and see if I've got them for you, my man. And I'll drop them in the Discord group. Speaking of which, if you're around and you're a Discord user, you should come along and join Eric's Discord group. There's a link in the chat. It's largely G.I. Joe focused, but there's loads of channels in there to talk about all sorts of things from the broad church of nerdom. So if you like us and you're just a big old nostalgic man-child, it might be a place to come hang out if that's your thing. Right, prepared material then. Prepared material. So I've jotted down a couple of things that caught my eye over the last couple of weeks to talk about. So as usual, it's my intention to be on for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the outside. Rattle my way through the prepared material, just the rundown of the kind of the news that has caught my eye. It's not a full rundown of adult collector news by any stretch of the imagination. But then obviously we'll just follow whatever tangents and cul-de-sacs we end up going down off the back of that shared news. And I'll take intermittent breaks to take a run through the chat and see what folks who are with me live have got to say. And of course, I invite anyone who's watching this after the fact on the video on demand to drop into the comments and share their thoughts as well. But to get us started today, if I go into my little slide presentation, the first thing that caught my eye was this bad boy here. You guys seen this? It's from a third-party sculptor called Fans Hobby. I think quite well known in the Transformers scene, so I know a couple of you guys know the Transformers world. You might be able to comment on that. With a 1/12 scale, and I've grabbed some of their pictures off their Instagram to demonstrate how 1/12 scale it truly is, of a not Skyhawk. Because it's giving off real strong Skyhawk vibes. But I thought it was really cool. And I wanted to just sort of share it. Now, you guys know, certainly as regulars around these parts, you've heard me say that vehicles are pretty low on the list for me when it comes to 6-inch collecting, because it's just space, budget, you know. I just don't have the square footage to accommodate vehicles a lot of the time. But it's still very eye-catching, and I know a lot of you guys are big, you know, G.I. Joe fans, and will recognise the Skyhawk, the vestigial elements of the Skyhawk within that, as I have done, and would possibly be interested in it. But this thing is great. So it's 1/12 scale. Let me just... so they posted a picture with the measurements, but more importantly, they posted a picture with figs in the cockpit, you know, with Ryu and Roadblock and Rock and Roll and Scarlet all having a good fly around. I don't know who the anime dude is at the top of this row here, but just sort of demonstrating the size and scale of it with the measurements. I've got a link to their Instagram, actually, where all this was, where I picked all this up from, so I'll put that in chat for the... in chat. For the folks who are watching along live, and then I'll make sure I go back and add it to the description probably tomorrow now for anyone watching it on video on demand. But let me show you this that they put on their Instagram, because it's 1/12 scale, but they've been advertising it as having lighting effects. Now, if I've set this up properly, I think I can show you this video that I pulled down off their Instagram page. Again, to reiterate, this is Fans Hobby. This has come from their Instagram page. I've popped the link in the chat, so you can go and take a look for yourself. But this is the video of the lighting effects. Take a look at this. So they've obviously set it up to hang with the. In fact, they advertise it as having a hanging display unit. You can see like a little hook at the back there with a bit of fishing wire, and they've set up all the lighting effects. It says in the description on the Instagram post that it's got lighting under the cockpit canopy, interior and exterior lighting effects. So like just really put that extra 10% effort in there. It's got the articulated areas, so you can lift the cockpit canopy to put the figures in and out, and the 2 engine units at the back there. So there you go. You can see the cockpit canopy up, but the 2 engine units at the back swivel as well. So you know it's got everything you could want really from your not Skyhawk. And I think they've got a pretty good reputation. Like I say, it's I was talking to someone I know who's kind of clued up on the Transformers scene, and they said, "Oh yeah, Fans Hobby, I've heard of them. You know, they're known for third-party Transformers sculpts. So you know, it just looks decent. It caught my eye. It's unlikely that I'll order one, and there's no information about price or when they're available for pre-order or order. No information about paint jobs or decals, anything of that nature so far. So I suppose really just again I'll pop it back in chat. Go and have a look on their Instagram. Follow them on Instagram if it's something that's of interest to you. But I know you folks are G.I. Joe fans, and that's clearly not G.I. Joe inspired. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? And I thought I'd share it, and just the fact that they popped that video up. Let's have another quick look at that video, shall we? Yeah, just really showing it off. And what I appreciated about this, I suppose, is that when you're thinking about marketing an action figure, adult collectible of this nature, you got to sit back and say, well, what do the people who are going to buy this stuff? What are they going to want to see? What do they want? What are they going to want to see that it can hang from the ceiling and can light up? And so that's what they give us, which I'm appreciative of. So that's Fans Hobbies. They've not named the model, so I've been calling it the Not Skyhawk. I'll give you the link on Instagram. Let's have a swing through chat and see what folks have got to say about that one. So here we go. Jono, Fans Hobbies make awesome third-party Transformers that are epic. They're not cheap, though. Okay, so there you go. Another recommendation from someone who knows a bit about Transformers. Connor, yeah, that's awesome. In agreement there. Let's see what Bobby's got to say. That looks epic. I'm happy a third-party group's going to start making Joe vehicles, give some competition for Hasbro. Well, technically, there's other third-party manufacturers that make vehicles you could use with your Joes. They who shall not be named. This is clearly the air turkey. Let's have a look. Curtis is saying here, folks, Skyhawk is the vehicle I'm most waiting for. I ordered one as a kid and the run got cancelled, so I never got one. No! All right, well, now we're all going to have to just, for Curtis and for his childhood trauma about the Skyhawk, we're going to have to, we're going to have to fully support Fans Hobbies as much as we can, even if it is just spreading the word. We'll get you there, Curtis. Bobby says, I'm looking forward to seeing what McFarlane does with the bridge layer. Yeah, McFarlane is an interesting one, aren't they? So our friends over at Oakhurst Studios, Vern Rance, they've had, I've forgotten his name, but the guy from McFarlane on, he was talking about his A-Team van, showing off some stuff there. He seems to be pretty clued in. Again, also skirting the lines of, the licensing and stuff. So that will be curious. What's the name of the character who's the Joe guy with the helmet? I'm having one of my 10 o'clock at night forgetful things. I remember having a conversation with Wilfredo about Spider-Man swinging through New York, but I can't remember the name of a G.I. Joe figure. Jordan says, I can see Hasbro making a Skyhawk, though, not much bigger than a van. Yeah, so that great point, Jono, actually. And that was I did put that in my notes, actually. I meant to say that before. So yeah, that is the one of the things about this particular vehicle is that you can see it being on a shortlist that Lenny and Tony and the guys have got ready to locked and loaded, and it would sort of in that sort of vamp, single seater size and shape type thing. So you could drop quite a lot of money on this with all the light up effects and everything, only to find that then Hasbro comes swooping in with something that's like $80 or whatever. What was the vamp? What was the vamp? About 100, 110, something like that, and it may be more reasonably priced. So yeah, I suppose proceed with caution in that respect. John makes a really great point there. Flaffle says Skyhawk would be a good vehicle to make. Put Ace with it because the Sky Striker will never be made. No, while we're talking about 3 foot long vehicles. Perfect cockpit mold for a Black Series X-Wing, says Connor. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting point here from Eric, Charlotte Prime. I could have lived without the lights if it made the price easier to swallow. Yeah, that's yeah, because how much would you actually use them? So question for his tank owners then, I suppose. Do you find yourself using your lighting effects frequently, infrequently? It was a short-term novelty. It's proven to be a long-term thing you've enjoyed about it. In connection to Eric's comments there. And about whether the lighting effects are necessary. I must admit, in the past, I've had toys, models, figures with light-up effects or interesting gimmicks of that nature, and I've enjoyed them for the week that the things arrived and played around with it, and then sort of bored of it, or you end up with that the batteries run out and you end up never replacing them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know on the his tank lights, because that may support Eric's contention there, which Connor agrees. Yeah, good shout. Okay, I should have. Sorry, guys. I need to keep up with the chat better, don't I? Because you're all. I'm obviously just repeating things you've already said. Agreed, Charlotte. Cool for a day or two, but then ignored when on display. But it adds a fair whack to the overall cost. Yeah, okay. So I think there is a bit of a consensus around the need for the lights. Don't need my small to medium light vehicles to light up. Yeah, okay, sure, but look, look at it. Toll booth. There we go. I've just seen it in chat. Toll booth. Thank you very much. And let's have a look. Well, Fredo looks okay, but don't you think that eventually Hasbro will make some as well as a claw? Yeah, okay. So some more support for Jono's comments and position on that earlier. It's like bad porn music paired with the video. Oh, so the music doesn't play for me. Is it playing for you guys? That's brilliant. I didn't know that. I've got the secondary input muted on my broadcast thing. I didn't realise you were getting the music. Oh, expert pro streamer here, folks. Classified toll booth. There we go. Toll booth. Yeah, toll booth. Everybody is in on that. Charlotte honestly doesn't remember the Skyhawk from the original line. No, I've only got very vague memories. The Skyhawk was mid-80s, 84, 85-ish, I think, off the top of my head. All right, well, there you go. Well, there's something that caught my eye. Let's jump into the next kind of piece of news. I don't know if you guys saw this knocking around, but a retailer here in the UK, Star Action Figures, who I have shopped with. I've bought figures off them in the past. So, it's a site I visit. I follow them on socials. The next wave of Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 figures turned up, with 6 figures in total, all being advertised for a December shipping date here in the UK, which was Blanca, Cammy, and Cammy is interesting because the picture on the far side of that looks like it's the figure itself, whereas if I go back to Blanca there, you can see that it's just an artist's illustration. And then who's next on the list? Let me check my notes. DJ's next. There's DJ, another actual figure being showed there. Although DJ, is it me or does his face look a bit funny? Is his face a bit weird? I don't know. Anyway, then Guile, again a figure. They were showing the actual figure on that piece of advertising, and then Sagat, which was just again an artist interpretation, and Vega. So it looks like, despite the fact that we've not had Dalsim, M. Bison, and I'm still struggling to get a Ken, actually. He was on Amazon for a brief flicker of a moment. I was just a bit too slow and didn't get him because of basically because of the Hasbro pre-orders that had dropped this month. I was, skint and I've been on holiday, but I'm sure they'll turn up. But they look great. I mean, one of the lovely things about these pictures that have turned up on Star Action, I know we've seen some sort of in display glass cabinet pickies of them at some conventions and stuff, and there's been a few digital renders knocking around, but it just really shows off the extent of value that Jada Toys are chucking in. So if I go all the way back there to back to Cammy here, was Cammy the first one? No, Blanca was the first one. It's a bit difficult to see because these pictures are not final. They want to be very clear about that. But you got head swap, hand swap, and energy effects as minimum, as standard, it appears, with every single one of these figures. And Star Action have got them up for the 23 quid price. Or, well, 25 by the time you've 25, 26 by the time you've paid postage, or you'll pay 26 on Amazon and get your Prime shipping or whatever. So head swap, hand swap, and energy effects. And the energy effects look like decent and relevant to the power usage the characters have in the game, So Blanca's got his lightning bolt electricity move, and then Cammy's got some hand swaps and the kicky thing. That's the technical term. A couple of hand swaps, and then you can see DJ's got his thumb up and his finger pointing and his swooshy kick thing. Even though he's got a weird looking face. What's going on with that face, guys? It's the eyes, isn't it? The eyes look too vividly painted, I think. Then Guile here, with his kicky swoosh, hand swap, head swap, and one of the hands has got the comb in it, for his celebration move. You've got hand swaps, the punchy effect with Sagat. Vega's got his claws, his mask, again to do the celebration move. So just loads of value chucked in, with little stands for the energy effects and stuff, and sculpted details. And if they move, if the articulation is as silky and amazing as the Ryu and the Chun-Li is that I've got, and the center of gravity and the balance and the textural details in the sculpting, and they've got all that added value in there, and they're still punching them out for 25 quid. That's an incredible amount. That's an embarrassing amount of value for the likes of Hasbro, McFarlane, in my humble opinion, because these do look great. Now, the Street Fighter line is one where I am actually legitimately restraining myself, because I've said I'm only going to get characters that I was kind of really into when I played the game as a kid, and the ones that I would select out the menu. So I'm trying to be a little bit more selective, a little bit more choice with my character purchases here. Noting a little bit of small print on there that this is what I said about G.I. Joe. And look where I am with Classified now. But I have been a little bit more selective up till this point. So I'm possibly not going to get a Cammy, possibly not going to get a DJ, because they didn't really... They're not characters that I, seem to remember or have recollections of playing on my old... would it have been my SNES that I used to play it on? But I definitely remember Sagat and Vega and Guile and stuff. So I don't know, were they added a later Prestige edition or something? Although I do know the character Cammy. I've seen her about. Kylie was Cammy, wasn't she? Was Kylie Cammy? Maybe I will need to get a Cammy now upon that revelation. Hey, I'll tell you what, a little fact for you. I picked up on a podcast the other day. Kylie Minogue's rosé wine is the biggest selling wine in the UK of 2023. Just saying. Just saying. So let's have a look. So yeah, they've turned up on Star Action Figures. I think I mentioned that. They're doing the rounds on socials because folks like me have noticed these on Star Action Figures. Here's a link to, I'll pop it in chat, to their store, and you'll find these in their featured pre-orders section. But yeah, $25, loads of value. If the standard that we've experienced with the figures up till now are continued, then these are great figures. Just from the perspective of being an action figure fan, you know, even if you weren't of an age where, you know, Street Fighter 2 came out and you were like I think many of us were here today, right now on the chat. They're just great figures to own because they've got real character, real personality, and the engineering and quality is really, really good. Okay, let's have a look and see. As always, we'll take a pause to see what chat I've got to say about the Street Fighter figures. So let me just find the moment I brought that up. Yeah, Connor's on for Blanca. High voltage, high voltage, high voltage. Real Zim, still need Dalsim and M. Bison. Yeah, so Dalsim and M. Bison, thanks to Jono, he pointed this out to me. Looks like they're going to be kind of hitting some mainline retailers over here in the UK. I'll be visiting Smith's Toys at least once a week to see what's going on with the pre-order. And the back end of May, last week of May, their expected arrival date is. And I've noticed that they've now got listings on Amazon as well, although not purchasable yet. So you're not alone on that one, Zim. I definitely fancy M. Bison. I want a villain, at least one villain for me, Ryu and Chun-Li to fight. Jono, yeah, all these Street Fighter 2 figures look awesome. Cammy and Vega are fire. Oh, Brian's here. Hi, Brian. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming, dude. I hope you're all right. Can't wait to grab all of these. Yeah, I know you're a big fan. So actually, Brian, I'll show you something else in a minute. But Brian here has got one of the San Diego Comic Con Ryus in the Player 2 Evil Ryu variant, which I'm envious of. Let's see, Eric. For me, Jada puts Storm to shame when it comes to these characters. I just like their take on them better, and the price is so much more reasonable. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the value with these. It's the value. As someone who collects a couple of lines, primarily Marvel Legends, kind of X-Men stuff, obviously G.I. Joe Classified. Many of you guys know my channel from the G.I. Joe Classified stuff. Then I sort of dipped my toe into some other stuff. I've dipped my toe into DC Multiverse, but that's kind of, I've not made any new pre-orders on that. I think that's going to come to an end for me now. And then bits and bobs here and there, like, I had to have an Indiana Jones and things. And I've started to pick up a little bit of a small collection of these because the nostalgia factor. And it's it's like an out of left field, not expected, like, oh, Street Fighter 2, yeah, I'll pick one of those up for 24 quid or whatever. And then I got it and I was like, fucking hell, this is brilliant. For the price, what you get, that then takes the quality to another level because it's in the proportional perspective of the price. They're outstanding. So I entirely agree, Eric. I entirely agree. But I only agree from the perspective of having a Jada Toys figure in hand. I've never had a Storm in hand to play around with. But the Storm ones look a bit weird to me sometimes. In fact, I find this with some of these like premium import brands. I look at the pictures, the advertising pictures, and I'm like, well, it just looks fucking weird. It doesn't look like the character. And that's the other thing with the Jada Toys is they've captured that sort of animated pixel style in that 3-dimensional 6-inch figure form really, really well. And they don't look weird, 20th to the 24th of the month, yeah. I'm on it, Jono. We've got one on the retail park just up the road from me, so I'll be I'll be straight down there, knocking on the door. I nip in sometimes. My lad goes in there to have a look at the video games, and we go and have a look at the Lego sets and stuff because we do some Lego together, me and my son. And I take a walk down the boys' toys aisles, obviously, because which one of it? Hand up anyone who doesn't. Yeah, that's what I thought. But it's always like the Black Series stuff. It's always just the most recent Disney Plus Bobbins Bollocks wave Black Series. DC Multiverse is always the movie tie-in McFarlane stuff. So Shazam 2, Black Adam, Aquaman 2, blah, blah, blah. Very rarely see Marvel Legends unless, again, it's MCU tie-in stuff. You know, it's not great for... they're not great for lines like this, so I'm quite surprised they're getting the Street Fighter 2 stuff. Anyway, for a momentary tangent there, apologies. I don't collect the... okay, so Eric's just followed up on what was his comment before. I don't collect them, but the choice between the two wouldn't be difficult to make. Okay, thank you for the elaboration, my friend. Really, Brian? Like you hadn't mentioned while you dragged us all down with you. That Vegas tempting. Yeah, okay. Johnny says the Storm figures are pretty epic, to be fair, just way overpriced. Okay, cool. So I'll ask for a bit of elaboration there, my friend. You've had some Storm stuff in hand. You own some, even. Let me know a little more of that narrative. Zim's in for them all. Okay, yeah, like I say, I'm going to be a bit more selective, but I don't blame you, dude, because it's a great IP. Yeah, we know that. It's a great IP. Even someone like me who kind of lost my way with console gaming many, many years ago, certainly fighters, I still have really powerful, strong memories of playing Street Fighter 2. It wasn't Nintendo. I'm pretty sure it would have been it must have been the Super Nintendo, the SNES, yeah? I'm just trying to think. When me and my brother were kids, it wasn't the NES, but we definitely had a NES, and then we had a Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure the Street Fighter was on the Super Nintendo. What came after the Super Nintendo? Was that the 64? Was it? No, I wasn't playing it on the 64. Anyway, you don't need to sit here watching me try to remember what consoles we were playing, but I have very strong, powerful memories of me and my younger brother and my mates coming round, you know, getting rained off when we wanted to play Kirby or whatever, so we went inside and played Street Fighter 2 for hours, you know. That very first Street Fighter 2. Jono asks, how are these figures not final? They were all on display late last year at some Japanese convention. Yeah, so I think I mentioned this earlier. I've definitely seen pictures of the figures themselves in a glass cabinet, you know, and there was a shelf of like the Dinky Toy cars that Jada do and a shelf of some other bits. Did Jada do some... is it Mega Man stuff, maybe? And I definitely saw a shelf with them all on, and somebody who was there, you know, doing a live stream, taking a video. Obviously not up close, just a kind of a view. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering if that's just cover your ass marketing stuff, because the figures that they're showing off at the conventions are the pre-production proofs, models, and they've maybe not seen what the... after the factory has sunk their mitts into them or something. I don't know. Maybe they're just doing cover their ass type stuff. Price point on these are making a mug of the Black Series, says Connor from Fuller's Figure. Well, it's not just the price point, is it? You know, let's... Once again, the Black Series conversation is short but sweet in the sense of there's lots of lines making mugs of Black Series right now for a variety of reasons, isn't there? Curtis says, oh man, I remember when Cammy was added to the arcade version. She was always being played. See, I never played the arcade version. I played it on console. Maybe that's why I have less sort of nostalgic memory stuff around Cammy. Cammy, DJ, T-Hawk and Phelan came in a further game. Yeah, okay, sure. So that's why I'm not like feeling them as much. I suspected as much. Yeah, Charlotte won't be able to resist Vega if he sees it in store. A few folks saying hi to each other. Brian's got a comment on the Storm. I will say about Storm. Oh, Brian, your little thumbnail's not coming up. I sincerely apologise for the failing of my weird little app thing. I will say about Storm. I had Ken and Ryu, and they are amazing, but the price is massive, and personally prefer the Jada ones because of the price point and the scale. Storm's really weird, 110 scale. Yeah, I saw a Storm collectibles figure that was like a dude with a massive tiger on his head and stuff, and it did look awesome. I just couldn't. I was like, I can't afford it. Sega. I can only assume that was the cadence in which that comment was typed by Fluffle. More and more figures are coming out in that weird 1/9 and 1/10 scale, Brian says. Jono, right pain in the arse, has just found an awesome Ken from the first Fist of the North Star anime, but he's 6.5. Disappointed face. Definitely Super Nintendo. I played it on the Genesis. All right, brill. Well, there you go, folks. But just very quickly to wrap up the Street Fighter conversation, thanks for your comments there. And I hope the people, the video on demand folks, appreciate seeing what everyone's talking about. But they also had this knocking around. This is the Chun-Li Player 2 variant. We saw a digital render of her a while ago. But here it is, and it's basically the same as the Player 1, but they've obviously done the colour shift to be in line with the Player 2 selection there. Word is that that's going to be a Target exclusive. I picked that up on Toys News International. And if you'd like to read the article, there's a link in the chat for you. Come in right now. So yeah, and this is the sort of thing that I could skip. Actually, so the variants in Street Fighter 2 and the variants in McFarlane Toys recently have been an inspiration for a video I'm working on around chase variants and exclusives and convention exclusives and stuff that I'm kind of putting together and chunking it together right now. I started recording it, but then I had to re-record it because I think I mentioned this. I made a whole video and then I realized that I was just like being really like neggy about McFarlane. But the reason I'm bringing it up is if anyone out there is pretty clued in on wrestling figures and particularly clued in on variants, chase variants in the world of wrestling, and can send me a few notes or point me in the direction of some help with regards to the kind of customer fan sentiment around chase variants in the wrestling figure collecting arena, I'd really appreciate it. So track me down on Insta or Discord, X, whatever. Drop me a DM if you can help me out in that space, because I don't know a lot about collecting wrestling figures, but I do know that there's chase variants, and I'd be curious to know if the sentiment around chase variants match up with the sentiment in the McFarlane Toys kind of community and the thoughts and feelings about chase variants there. So yeah, give me a shout if you can help with that. Okay, let's see where we're at. So Eric says, speaking of storms, I'm going to step away, go outside before the next round of crazy weather comes through. Might be back in a few, but if not, take care, my friend. All right, mate. Yeah, no worries. Good luck with that. And Johnny says, oh, CCP Chun-Li looks cool. Yeah, so again, no word on when she's arriving and stuff, but the rumour is that it's going to be a Target exclusive in the US. Player 2 Chun-Li variant. Cool. All right, then. Shall I move on to the next topic of discussion, folks? And on the list here, I have got... Oh. Where's my picture gone? Hold the line, please. Momentary technical error. DJ Gal Vega. Chun-Li. It's definitely there. Where are you? Once again, the super slick Mega Pro streaming experience at MoDXtra Games and Collectibles like you've never experienced before. Why is that picture not coming up? Let's keep Hawk. Let's everybody just sit quiet and behave while Chris attempts to address the technical error that he is currently experiencing. Will it let me select all of these if I do a shift? No, of course not. That would just be too easy, wouldn't it? Kill that one off. Kill that one off. Kill that one off. This is fun, guys. This is what real fun's about, isn't it? Watching Chris click through his little slideshow app. Put 50p in the meter. Yeah. Do you know what? I spent ages setting all these up earlier as well. And I was really proud of myself. I even numbered the pictures so that when I uploaded them into the little slide deck app thing, they would be in order, in the right order that I wanted to talk about them. Right, okay. So if I go there like that, add files, and then choose that file, and then click open, they should appear in this little folder here. And then if I click OK and click next picture, hey, there we go. Problem solved. I'm going to take a moment to feed the bad habit with some nicotine to get over the stress of that experience, folks. What was that all about then? Take your time. I'm still working here, says Curtis. All right, fair enough. Well, I just wanted to talk about this. So the Movie Maniacs, and I mentioned the Music Maniacs in a stream episode a while ago now. We were looking at the Ozzy and the Alice Cooper. There's actually been some pictures knocking around of the Eddie and the Rob Zombie, which I'll maybe revisit when there's some better pics knocking around. But the Movie Maniacs thing is still cracking on with McFarlane Toys here. I've got a link to them if you're interested. It's the Amazon affiliate link for MoDXtra games and collectibles, but more importantly, you can click on that and go and have a closer look at the pictures. The two new ones that were announced were the dude from The Big Lebowski and Matthew McConaughey's character from Dazed and Confused, David Wooderson. All right. I would recommend you go and take a look. The David Wooderson is an absolute travesty of a face sculpt. Todd's definitely at it again with face sculpting. It does not resemble Matthew McConaughey at all. Just not at all. I'm a huge Big Lebowski fan. I have, again, talking about nostalgia. There was a period in the 90s there when I was a student studying, and me and my mates, when we were skint, as students often are, we would go down to HMV in Manchester City Centre, or Our Price, or Virgin Megastore, as they were at that time. And we used to go for the, like the 3 VHSs for 20 quid, and all put in like $7.50 in each or whatever, and buy 3 movies. The Big Lebowski was one of the movies that we picked up, and we watched Big Lebowski, the first Austin Powers, and I think, was it Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction, one of the Quentin Tarantino's? We like wore the tapes out, watching them over and over again because we had no money. Playing poker with bags of 2p's, betting with 2p's, and drinking very, very cheap, dirty booze, and watching stuff like The Big Lebowski. So I've got very fond memories of The Big Lebowski. And that one's not too bad because of the glasses and the hair and the face and the beard and stuff. The face sculpt's not quite as much of a travesty, but that David Wooderson, the Matthew McConaughey, is just freaking awful. But he's also given up all pretense of any articulation with these. They got a backing card, a little display stand, and they're just posed in the way he wants them posed, and that's the end of that, which is what he's always wanted to do. He's been doing it. He started doing it with the DC stuff. The Music Maniacs articulation was super limited, so your mileage will vary with these. I do play around a little bit in the statue space. I pick up the odd Diamond Select and Gentle Giant, bit and bob here and there. I'm looking at my DC Lobo just here, which you guys don't see very often because he's behind the camera. My little mini DC Lobo there. So I do play around in the statue space a little bit. Got my little Darth Vader lightsaber back here, actually. Anyone want to see my lightsaber? A little Darth Vader lightsaber, look. Got this ages ago. It comes on a little stand. Oh, it's a bit embarrassingly dusty, but Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Darth Vader's lightsaber. That probably gives you a sense of when I pick that up. So yeah, I might pick up a Big Lebowski. I've got a little selection of figures that actually do reside in the living room, that go in the main, normal human space of the house, which is my Reservoir Dogs figures, my Marty McFly and Doc, and they're in front of my Blu-rays and my DVDs on the shelf. So I might pick up a Big Lebowski because it'd be a nice addition to that collection in the normal human space. But the Dazed and Confused one's a bag of shit. The face just does not look like Matthew McConaughey from the movie at all. But they're around. They're available for pre-order. Despite the dodgy face sculpts, like I say, caught my eye because I might. I suppose, like Eric was saying before, if I'm in a Forbidden Planet or HMV and it's there on the shelf and it's a decent price, or these are the sorts of things that sometimes get clearanced out a bit, don't they? Then a dude for my movie shelf wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, you know. So there you go. So even though I'm a bit off with McFarlane with regards to DC Multiverse, I still do keep a half an eye on what's going on. Right, let's have a look. See, so Connor says, these look cool, but not a fan of States. Can't play with them. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. So, yeah, like I say, your mileage might vary with that. Jono says, McFarlane did the same with the Fallout TV show figures. Oh, I didn't really pay much attention to those. I saw them knocking around, but I didn't really. I mean, I finished the show, by the way. Was it you I was talking about it with on a... Did you mention it in chat on a previous stream, Jono? Because I finished watching it. Brilliant. Really, really enjoyable show, wasn't it? I found it very entertaining. I like Walton Goggins anyway, because I like to be justified. But, yeah, I didn't see what he did with the figures, because even though I like the show, it's not had enough of an iconic impression on me that I would want to go out and pick up figures for it. You know, it's not become... you know, like Big Lebowski is, I consider it a classic that I have a firm connection to. It resonates with me because of that time with my mates in that crappy student flat shed that we were in. Honestly, we used to buy 2 little bottles of cider, like cheap, nasty cider. We used to buy 2 liter bottles of like a really nasty lager, and then we'd keep one of the 2 liter bottles from the weekend before, and we would just half and half it. So we'd have 3 sort of 2/3 full these big 2 liter bottles with half cider, half lager in them. Then we used to put some blackcurrant cordial on the top of them and sit on this old battered sofa watching Big Lebowski, Reservoir Dogs, Austin Powers, just like over and over and over again. Eating oven pizzas, you know, the little round oven pizzas. Or beans on toast for our dinner. Honestly, such a strong nostalgic memory of the Big Lebowski around that stuff. So anyway, where was I up to? So yeah, I didn't see the Fallout figure. Well, I saw that they existed, but I didn't pay them any mind. You're not a real collector if you don't have dust on your shelf. Yeah, for sure. Dust is what we probably all collect the most. John says, I would like a proper Fallout Power Armor figure. Very iconic in the game. Yeah, so, again, if you were hardcore into the games, which I know some people were, I played Fallout 3... 4 and Vegas. Were they about? Does that sound about right, or was it 4 and Vegas? I don't know, but I was around that time, but I didn't stick with it. I just find I love a good open world game. I played Elder Scrolls, smashed a load of the Grand Theft Autos when I was younger, but now in my older age, I just find it really difficult to play like large scale open world games. And I'll buy them and I'll play them a little bit. And then life will happen, and I'll have kids stuff going on and work stuff going on that will just take me away from it. And then I'll go back to it weeks later and be like, what was I doing? Where was I going? Why was I going there? What's happening? So I love them, but I just can't fit them in anymore. Can't fit them in. But yeah, I agree. The power armor, the Fallout power armor is an iconic part of the visual identity of the game, isn't it? Jason Keane asks, the Big Lebowski or With Nail and I? I have to say Big Lebowski for me, but I do appreciate With Nail and I as a tremendous movie. I just think the Big Lebowski sits with me better. All right, so there's the Movie Maniacs. What have I got next? Last item on the official agenda, folks. I just wanted to point this out. So some of you guys over this side of the ocean might be familiar with InDemandToys, another friendly independent retailer, adult collector place. again, that I've shopped with many times before. Awesome. They're very good. Again, their Instagram, talking about Instas, I'll give you their link because their Instagram is decent. You know, it's nice to, you know, they're good. They've got a lot of energy about them. And they posted that they're going to be at the MCM London Comic Con, which is taking place at the end of next month. So hang on, I wrote the dates down. 24th to the 26th at the London Expo, down in London, down south. And in their Instagram post, I put a little red square around it there, and they noted that they're going to be having a larger booth than usual to allow for the great range of products that Hasbro are providing them, and will give them some time to prepare some great surprises. So InDemandToys are going to be at the MCM with Hasbro too, a little joint display venture, and there's been some little wink wink nod nod about some surprises. Now, this could be a good thing. There's precedent for InDemandToys pulling this sort of stuff over here. So they, not too long back, had like a birthday celebration, 20 years, 25 years, something of them being in operation. And they did a special like open day. They had you know, some cosplayers and some iconic movie cars and stuff parked out front that people could get photos in. An A-Team van, a bug Camaro, yellow Camaro and stuff. And they had a Hasbro display there. And that had all the Wolverine 50th anniversary stuff in it, you know, in hand, in the glass display cabinet, months and months and months before it had been released. So there is precedent for InDemandToys getting some good cheeky stuff from Hasbro. So a date for the diary, folks, because I think there might be something worth taking a look at there. Oh, John has just mentioned there, Amazon Prime are giving away Fallout 76 on the Xbox and PC at the moment, Chris. Very cool game now. All the bugs are sorted. Oh, brill. Okay. My son's got I've got a very old Xbox, but my son's got the newer Xbox upstairs. I might give it a little try. Thanks for the heads up. Oh, GeForce is here. Hello, GeForce. Everyone say hi to GeForce Racing 20. I hope you're all right. GeForce, you can call me Chris. You don't need to refer to me by the channel name. You've been around enough to call me by my first name. So anyway, just saying hello to GeForce. But speculation in the chat then, folks. What do we think? You know, go wild, go crazy. Let's see what you got. What do you think Hasbro might be pulling out the bag in roughly about 4 weeks' time to show off at the MCM Comic Con Expo? I'm thinking this latest Marvel Legends wave might be a good shout. You know, in hand demos, because when's the shipping dates? Like the Spider-Man and the Carol Danvers and the Scar, you know, and Iron Fist and Power Man, Luke Cage, the Ghost Rider. I think a good bet would be something like that we know about already. We've already seen on a stream. Pre-orders are already out, but like a bit of a, you know, 3D teaser in the glass cabinet. But do we think there might be anything else? Yeah, the Star Wars HasLab. Or Curtis says the Dragonfly. Yeah, I think we might be getting I did say go wacky, but that might be a little bit too ambitious. And Connor makes a great point. Won't be classified because they pulled the fan channel. Yeah. Also, I possibly, you know, from I know you're making an adult collector political point there, Connor, but there's in a practical sense, obviously, Yojo June will only be a short while after this has taken place. So I'd be surprised if we've got any G.I. Joe classified stuff in this little Hasbro surprises that InDemandToys are laying on, because they're you know, they'll hold it back for their own fan stream, won't they? They'll hold it back for their own stuff. Yeah, wouldn't it be a turn up for the books though? Absolute turn up for the books if they rooked up glass cabinet, Dragonfly with a Wild Bill on the go. Or like a Jawa bloody thing in TVC scale. That would be. I would laugh my tits off if that happened. I'd find that so hilarious. Because I'm obviously a bit of a troll on the side. Yeah, what else? I think Marvel Legends, but I don't think, like I said, I think the wave that we've already seen, and we've had an actual in-hand view on stream from the Marvel Legends team, could be a good shout. Maybe some Transformers stuff. Transformers, where it's sailed. I just can't keep up with it. I haven't had a Transformer in hand since I used to play with like G1 stuff as a very little boy. So I can't comment as to whether there might be some Transformers stuff, but it'd be very interesting. It's not all that far out, is it? May the 24th. I don't know if there's anyone around going. Connor or John O'Brien, any of you guys flying over for the MCM Comic Con London at all? I'll not be going. I tell you what, I had a look at the train prices and the travel time. Fucking ridiculous, because you have to sort of get the train into London, and then because it's at the Expo, you have to faff about with a load of trains and tubes and shit to get from where the Manchester train rolls in and across. It was going to take me nearly 5 hours to get the train to the Expo. I was like, gee, I'd have to set off at 4 in the morning to get there for doors open. And then the price of the train ticket. Jesus Christ. Couldn't believe it. I could fly to like Geneva for the weekend for the same price. An exciting announcement of some Star Wars up-and-coming repacks. Yeah, what will happen is that there'll be a 3PO with a red arm. Oh dear. Black Series gets it rough, don't they? Really get it rough. Repaints. Don't forget the repaints. No, but back in the UK for NEC in September. Yeah, I've got my eye on the NEC in September myself. So it's a Sunday, isn't it? The actual event. But I was going to maybe trek down on the Saturday night and be there early doors on the Sunday morning. I thought I'd put it in my calendar. (22nd). I didn't put it in my calendar. So I've got my eye on that. But there's a fight. September's also got Fighting Fantasy Fest, which I know you guys in chat aren't like mad crazy on it like I am, but the old Steve Jackson in Livingston, there's a convention for the Fighting Fantasy folks early in the month, so I need to kind of make a budgetary decision as to which one. But I think I'll probably do the NEC, because it's actually not that far for me to get to from Manchester. So even if I don't travel down the day before, I can hop in the car and get there in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, just drive down for the day, whatever. Premier Inn for the pints and crack. Yeah. Is that where you stop at the Premier Inn? The one on the main road by the airport car park, is it? When I go to the UK Games Expo, I sometimes stay there, but I also stay at one that you can walk to the NEC. So you know where the sorry, I was momentarily distracted then. So hello, Tarot Destroyer. Great to see you. Definitely Super Nintendo. I played it on the Genesis. So I get the feeling maybe Tarot Destroyer is currently watching the video on demand from the beginning. Don't forget the repaints. You're just catching up, Tarot Destroyer. Well, welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here, my friend. We're just talking about conventions taking place over here in the UK. So I think it's called the Crown Plaza or something. Oh, I can't remember. But it's walking distance from the NEC. So you know the bit where the train station and the bus station is up the other end? Maybe you don't. But you can come out of a set of doors and just sort of walk through this little industrial estate. And there's this massive hotel there that's quite handy as well. Hang on. I'm getting botted here, aren't I? Yeah. So these are other people's comments getting repeated. All right, then. Right. Put user in a timeout. Is that how you do it? And then how do you report them as a bot? Remove. Message deleted. There you go. Right. Got rid of the weird bot that was repeating back to me all the comments from you guys. So yeah, we'll talk. Connor, and get something sorted out. Not even a porn site. Yeah, I don't even rate a porn site. I just get Tarot Destroyer. I mean, what's that? What's a Tarot Destroyer? Do we look like the kind of crowd who wants our fortunes telling, do we? Oh, Jesus. Right, hang on. Anyone got much experience of dealing with this shit? Report. And then hide user on my channel. There we go. Done it. Although, just as a final word on Tarot Destroyer, Curtis wrote, might be a bot, and the Tarot Destroyer is saying, might be a boat. Yeah, I thought I'd done hide comments, but for some reason, it doesn't seem to be stopping it. All right, anyway, whatever. Does it count towards my views? I haven't seen a bot in a while. Oh, well, maybe it's because I'm quite new to the game. Maybe I haven't set. There's some tick box that maybe I've not ticked that I should have done in my streaming settings. Oh, right. Okay, let's see what Wilfredo's got to say. Oh, here we go. Tarot Destroyer. Right, I keep hiding Tarot Destroyer, and it keeps coming back in chat. Why does that keep happening? Anyway, let's focus on Wilfredo. Although that's a very entertaining comment. My white boyfriend lost a testicle in a chainsaw accident. My black boyfriend donated his testicle to help out, even though. What the fuck? I've only been to London, England once, but it was just to visit your well-known sites. Never been to a comic convention. Says Wilfredo, but I was living in Germany at the time, not here in New York City. Yeah, I mean, and you guys in NYC have got you get great comic conventions, don't you? I mean, the New York Comic Con's just big shit goes down there, you know, in the nerdy community. So, although London's not, you know, London Comic Con's not been without its events and reveals for sure in the past. I don't know. I can't comment on Germany. I know Germany's got a great gaming convention, board gaming convention called Essenspiel, which is huge. I've never been to that. We can't see Tarot Reader in chat anymore, if that helps. Oh, okay. So it's just me that's getting the pleasure of Tarot Destroyer's comments. Gee, right, so I keep selecting it and telling it to hide the comments. Report, unwanted spam, report, hide user on my channel. Okay, but it still keeps coming up in my chat window. Anyway. Well, that's it, folks. I've run out. That's the end of my my prepared content today. So. As always, I'll open up the floor for any other final questions, comments, queries, concerns, challenges, even. Whatever you want, throw it out in this last little moment. Otherwise, as it's getting a bit later over here in the UK, I'll be wrapping up imminently. So if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to cover off briefly before I bring it to a close for today, then let me know in the next few. I'll pause momentarily, knowing that there's a time delay between me and you guys receiving me. Any more from anyone? No, it's Tarot Destroyer schedule all the way. All right, well, I'll bring it to an end then. I'll take that silence as a no. So, As always, folks, I'll just finish up by saying if there's anything you think I can do to enhance this streaming experience for you, or if you've got any ideas you can suggest that I can experiment with, then please do get them over to fucking hell, Tarot Destroyer. You guys aren't seeing this that I'm seeing, I assume, because it's balmy. They're just giving me literally pages and pages of donut emojis now. It's insane. But yeah, let me know. I've been toying around with some stuff, maybe some polls, or seeing if we can play some live games and things. So watch this space. If I can get that to work, I'm worried about the time delay making that work, but if I can get that to work, then I'm hoping to get some like interactive stuff together that we can engage with and see. But if you've got any suggestions or anything you want to put on the list, or anything you'd like me to think about introducing, then drop me a line. And also, of course, as you get to know me more and more as we spend time together, if you see something in the news and you think, oh, Chris would be interested in that, fire it over to me, get me a link, I'll check it out. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great Tuesday. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Keep an eye out on the channel. I'll give you a link. I've just reviewed the X-Men 97 Executioner figure, and I've done the footage for loads of other stuff that's all queued up here. So I'll probably edit the Duke one next and get that out in a day or two's time. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm rambling now. Thanks, folks. I'll see you next time. Do you want to end the stream? Yes, please.